You feel it in your chest before you name it, that quickened pulse, that tightening in your stomach, that moment when your breath shortens as if the air itself has grown heavier. Fear, it arrives like an uninvited guest at the exact moment you are standing on the edge of something unknown. Most people mistake this sensation for a warning to retreat, a sign to turn back, to stay in the familiar. Yet, what if I told you this? Trembling in your body is not danger, it is signal. It is the whisper of reality itself preparing to shift. When it feels scary, reality is about to rewrite. This is not a metaphor, it is a lived law of consciousness. The nervous system records safety in repetition. It finds comfort in sameness, even if sameness means pain, scarcity, or limitation. So when your essence reaches for a different timeline, one your old self has never known, your system interprets it as threat. That's why the doorway to transformation always feels frightening. It's not because the unknown is dangerous. It's because your body is tuned to what has been, not what could be. Think of it like standing before a threshold. Behind you, the landscape is predictable. Ahead, the terrain is invisible. Every fiber of your biology urges you to stay put, to grip the old frequency, to breathe in the stale air of what is already known. Yet the fear is not proof that something is wrong. It's proof that your old patterns cannot follow you forward. Fear is the friction of timelines colliding, the sound of one version of you beginning to dissolve while another prepares to be born. Imagine holding a tuning fork. Strike it, and you hear a clear note vibrating through the air. Now strike a second fork, tuned to a different pitch. As the two frequencies meet, they clash, creating dissonance. This is exactly what happens inside you when you are on the brink of transformation. Your old frequency and your new frequency vibrate against each other, creating inner tension. That tension feels like fear. But listen closely, the dissonance is proof of emergence. It is evidence that a new note is vibrating into your field. The problem is not the fear. The problem is that you've been taught to obey it. You've been conditioned to interpret the racing heart as danger instead of initiation. Yet every quantum leap requires you to misinterpret fear. What if your fear is not a warning sign but a threshold bell? What if it's the precise sound announcing that reality is bending around you? Here's the paradox. The scarier it feels, the closer you are to collapse. In quantum physics, collapse is not destruction, it's creation. A wave of infinite possibility collapses into a single event when observed with coherence. You are that observer. Your fear is the shaking of the wave right before it becomes form. If you run, the wave never collapses. If you stay trembling and breathless, you become the one who shapes it into reality. Let's ground this. Think back to a moment when you stepped into something you once thought impossible. Maybe it was confessing love. Maybe it was walking away from a job that chained you to mediocrity. Maybe it was saying yes to a chance that stretched you beyond logic. Do you remember the fear? How loud it was? How your mind screamed for you to retreat, yet when you crossed, the world rearranged itself. The fear did not destroy you. It introduced you to a version of yourself you could not meet any other way. This is the design. The edge always feels like ending when in truth it is the beginning. Fear is the cracking of the old shell, the sound of reality preparing to rewrite. It doesn't mean you are unsafe. It means you are alive at the edge of expansion. So here's the truth to carry. If you are not scared, you are not rewriting reality. Comfort is the anchor of the old. Fear is the compass of the new. The next time your body trembles, the next time your pulse races, the next time your mind whispers, turn back, pause, feel the vibration, realize it is not a no. It is the universe clearing its throat, preparing to speak through you. Now breathe. Notice the way your body quivers. That quiver is quantum electricity sparking through your cells. It is the signal that the script of your life is loosening, about to be redrafted by the essence of who you are becoming. Stay with it. Walk forward, not away. For when it feels scary, you are standing in the doorway of your own rewrite. You are not only a body moving through space, you are a vibration resonating inside an endless field. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every choice you embody carries a frequency that ripples into the unseen. These vibrations carve hidden pathways through the quantum landscape, silently shaping which version of reality you step into next. Most people believe their future is determined by effort, luck, or circumstance. In truth, it is guided by the frequencies they broadcast. Imagine reality as a vast river of possibilities flowing all around you. Countless streams branch and twist in every direction, each one a timeline waiting to be chosen. You cannot see them with your physical eyes, yet you feel them as subtle nudges, impulses, synchronicities. The current you enter depends on the vibration you hold. Fear tunes you into one stream, trust tunes you into another. Scarcity locks you into repetition, while abundance opens new routes. Your frequency is the rudder of your timeline. This is why two people can stand in the same place at the same moment, facing identical conditions, yet their lives unfold in completely different ways. One person vibrates in resentment. Their experiences echo disappointment. Another vibrates in openness. Doors appear where none existed before. They are not lucky, they are tuned. The quantum field does not mirror words, it mirrors frequencies. Consider how a radio works. The music is already in the air, filling the room invisibly. You do not create the station by turning the dial, you simply tune yourself to the frequency where it already exists. Reality works the same way. Abundance is already vibrating, love is already vibrating, healing is already vibrating. Your job is not to chase them into existence, but to adjust your frequency until you collapse into the pathway where they are real. The challenge lies in how deeply the old pathways are etched. The nervous system loves the familiar, even if it hurts. Trauma, doubt, repeated disappointments condition your frequency to loop inside the same narrow band. You might affirm wealth, yet your body hums with the vibration of not enough. You might visualize love, yet your heart pulses with abandonment. You might pray for freedom, yet your cells still vibrate with the memory of confinement. The quantum listens to the dominant vibration, not the surface wish. So when fear rises, it is not a sign that the path ahead is blocked. It is a sign that your frequency is shifting. Fear is the static that appears when the dial is moving between stations. You feel dissonance because you are no longer fully in the old vibration, but not yet anchored in the new. This is the trembling moment where reality prepares to rewrite. Pause here. Feel the vibrations you are carrying right now. The subtle hum of your body tells the truth. Are you vibrating in contraction or expansion, in scarcity or trust, in survival or creation? The quantum field does not respond to your affirmations. It responds to this hum. It responds to the song you are singing beneath your conscious words. Here's the secret: you cannot force a vibration. Yet you can choose practices that shift it. Breath is one, gratitude another, presence the most powerful of all. Each time you slow down and notice your body, you tune the instrument of your frequency. Each time you breathe deeply into fear, rather than fleeing, you stabilize the new pathway forming beneath your feet. Each time you choose one small act of generosity, courage, or openness, you shift your broadcast toward the vibration of the timeline you long to inhabit. Think of a key striking a lock. The lock has infinite grooves, yet only one sequence opens the door. Vibration works the same way. The reality you desire is already present, waiting. It will not open to mismatched signals. It opens only when your vibration clicks into coherence with its frequency. That click, that moment of alignment, can arrive in an instant. Suddenly, opportunities appear, conversations spark, synchronicities multiply. The path that was hidden becomes visible, not because it just formed, but because your vibration made it so. This is why when life feels uncertain, when fear rises and your body shakes, you are closer than you realize. You are between frequencies, moving from one hidden pathway to another. What feels like chaos is actually calibration. What feels like danger is a new signal waiting to lock in. So I ask you now, what pathway are you unconsciously carving with your vibration today? What frequencies are shaping the reality you will step into tomorrow? Pay attention to the hidden hum beneath your thoughts. That is the compass of your destiny. Do not dismiss the moments of fear. They are the static before the station clears. They are proof that your dial is turning, that a new vibration is preparing to stabilize, that a new timeline is waiting for you to claim it. Hold steady in the trembling. Tune yourself with breath, with presence, with intention. For when your vibration locks into the pathway of expansion, reality itself will bend to meet you. The closer you look at reality, the more it slips through your fingers. That paradox revealed itself when quantum physics emerged. The universe is not made of solid matter arranged in predictable lines. Beneath what you touch or see, everything hums as vibration, probability, potential. Your body, thoughts, emotions, all of it flickers in and out of infinite possibility. This is not only theory, it is the bridge between physics and spirit, the place where the observer meets the soul. The famous observer effect tells us particles remain waves of potential until measured. Once observed, the wave collapses into a definite outcome. Yet here's what most people miss: you are not only observing reality with your eyes. You observe with expectations, beliefs, frequency. Your subconscious humming below the surface acts as the true observer, collapsing reality into form before you notice it. So ask yourself, what version of reality is your subconscious repeatedly choosing? If 95% of your daily behavior arises from patterns written long ago, then most of the time you are not creating the new, you are recycling the old. That is why life feels predictable. That is why change feels slow. Yet quantum mechanics reminds us everything exists as possibility, waiting for a new observer to step forward. That new observer is you once you awaken. Picture standing before a field of doors, each one shimmering with potential. Some lead to abundance, others to love, still others to healing or purpose. Most people walk through the same door again and again because it feels safe. Their frequency matches the handle they already know, yet at any moment you can shift your resonance and step through a different one. The universe never runs out of doors. It waits for you to realize your power to choose. This is where spiritual awakening becomes more than philosophy. Awakening is remembering you are not trapped in one hallway of fate. Awakening is realizing that when you feel the tremor of fear, the field is presenting a new door. You are not broken. You are being invited to collapse into a different possibility. Consider how your perception shapes what you notice. When you expect rejection, you see every subtle cue confirming it. When you expect failure, your mind filters events to prove yourself right. The brain is not a neutral witness. It is a frequency tuner. It bends sensory data until it matches the vibration you already carry. This is why spiritual teachers speak of seeing with new eyes. To change your life, you must shift not what you look at, but the frequency you look from. Quantum entanglement offers another clue. Two particles once linked remain connected across distance. Change the state of one, the other shifts instantly. This is not metaphor, it is physics. Now translate this to consciousness. You are entangled with every version of yourself that exists across the infinite field. The you who has already healed, the you who has already stepped into abundance, the you who has dissolved fear. They are not fantasies. They exist in potential, waiting for resonance to snap the connection into visibility. When you shift your vibration, you trigger the entangled self to respond. Reality rewrites itself through you. This is why moments of fear matter so much. Fear appears when the old entanglement begins to loosen. Your system panics, mistaking the unraveling as loss. Yet loss is the space through which a new connection forms. If you breathe into the fear instead of retreating, you invite entanglement with a higher version of yourself. What once seemed impossible becomes natural, even inevitable. Now pause. Imagine your life as a series of waveforms dancing in front of you. Some shimmer with scarcity, some glow with possibility, others pulse with freedom. You are the observer standing in the center. The moment you shift into coherence, mind, heart, body align the wave you focus on collapses into form. The quantum does not delay, it does not punish. It mirrors your frequency instantly. The bridge between quantum physics and spiritual awakening is this: you are not waiting for reality to change. Reality is waiting for you to observe differently. The universe is not random, it is responsive. It listens not to your words, but to your state of being. When you align your thoughts with trust, your emotions with gratitude, your body with openness, you broadcast a clear signal. That signal bends probability. That signal rewrites the script. So the question becomes, what are you observing with your entire system right now? Are you gazing through the eyes of fear, collapsing scarcity again? Or are you softening into faith, collapsing the timeline where expansion is already real? The choice is always here. The field is always listening. The rewrite begins not when reality changes, but when you do. Fire has always carried mystery. Ancient alchemists spoke of it not only as flame, but as principle, the force that transforms one state into another. They placed metals inside the crucible, subjected them to heat, and waited for transmutation. What they sought in matter mirrors what you must now seek in consciousness. The same principle of inner fire burns within you. It can dissolve what no longer serves and forge a more radiant essence. Alchemy was never simply about turning lead into gold. It was a coded language for awakening. Lead symbolized the heavy self-ego, fear, attachment. Gold symbolized essence, light, truth, clarity. The alchemist's task was to endure the fire of transformation until the false separated from the true. The same is happening inside you whenever fear rises. That trembling is the fire heating your crucible. You are not being destroyed, you are being refined. Imagine your nervous system as the vessel. Old beliefs are the dense metals within it. Scarcity, doubt, shame, they weigh heavily, binding you to the past. When life's challenges ignite fear, it is as though flames lick at the edges of that vessel. The pressure feels unbearable, yet under that pressure something hidden begins to release. What once defined you burns away, revealing a clearer vibration. Fear becomes proof of purification. Modern science confirms what mystics already knew. Heat changes matter at the molecular level. It shakes atoms until rigid structures dissolve, creating space for new bonds. Fear shakes your inner structures the same way. It loosens rigid patterns coded in memory and habit. If you allow the fire to work, a new configuration forms, lighter and more coherent. Resist it, you feel only the burn. Trust it, you witness transmutation. Think of a phoenix rising. In stories, the bird does not merely survive fire, it requires fire to be reborn. Without flames, it cannot shed the old feathers or rise renewed. Your life follows this same pattern. The moments that feel most unbearable are often the exact conditions required for rebirth. Ego interprets them as endings. Soul recognizes them as alchemy. Consider how this principle applies to your relationships. When a bond cracks under tension, you feel the fire. The impulse is to escape or suppress. Yet if you hold presence, if you breathe through the discomfort, false attachments burn away, leaving space for genuine connection or for freedom where entanglement once ruled. The same principle applies to your career, your health, your inner voice. Everywhere the fire arrives, it seeks to refine. Here is where the ancient wisdom becomes practical. Alchemists worked with 3 stages: separation, purification, union. First, the substance broke apart, chaos, disintegration. Then the fire burned away impurities, clarity, refinement. Finally, the pure elements fused into a higher form. You are living through these stages each time fear shakes you. Separation arrives when your old identity no longer fits. Purification arrives when fear strips away illusions. Union arrives when your essence integrates at a higher vibration. Let me give you an image. Picture molten gold being poured into a new mold. At first the heat is overwhelming, the form dissolves, all shape lost, yet only through that molten state can a new design emerge. The same happens when reality feels like it's falling apart. You are not losing yourself, you are melting into potential. Soon the mold of a new reality receives you, shaping what could never exist while you clung to the old form. Notice how your body reacts in these moments. Do you brace, resist, shut down, that is ego fighting fire? Or do you soften, breathe, trust the heat, that is essence stepping forward? The difference determines whether you feel destroyed or reborn. The fire will come either way. Your choice is how you meet it. This is why ancient texts spoke of the inner flame as sacred. They knew the fire could devour, yet they also knew it could illuminate. To walk as an alchemist is to stop fearing fire. It is to recognize fear itself as the flame of refinement. Each tremor, each contraction, each moment of panic is an invitation. Let the old burn so the gold within can shine. You do not need elaborate rituals. You need willingness. Willingness to let fear reveal the structures no longer aligned. Willingness to breathe when your chest feels tight. Willingness to see every trembling moment as evidence that transformation is already underway. This is the inner fire of alchemy. It does not wait for permission. It ignites whenever your essence strains against the weight of what no longer fits. So when you feel consumed, when reality quakes as if it might collapse, pause. Remind yourself, this is not destruction. This is transmutation. You are not being burned to ash. You are being reshaped into coherence. The flame you fear is the very light preparing to reveal you. You have lived most of your life staring into a mirror that lies. Ego built it, polished it, and convinced you that the reflection was the truth. Yet, every illusion you see inside it, your labels, your fears, your stories are distortions. The mirror repeats what you already believe, not what you truly are. To rewrite reality, you must first shatter the mirror. Ego thrives by clinging to certainty. It insists you are your past, your mistakes, your wounds. It tells you that change is dangerous, that stepping beyond the known will cost you safety. This voice sounds logical, even protective, but in truth, it is the guard at the gate of expansion. Ego fears being dissolved. It whispers that fear means stop when fear is actually the signal to step forward. Think of ego like smoke in a glass room. The smoke swirls and obscures, creating strange shapes, shadows that look real. You reach for them, fight them, identify with them. Yet beneath the haze, the room is clear. Once the smoke clears, nothing substantial remains. Ego's illusions vanish the moment you see them for what they are: temporary patterns of thought, not identity. The difficulty is that the mirror feels comfortable. Familiar stories soothe you even when they trap you. You tell yourself, I am unlucky or I am unworthy, and the mirror reflects exactly that. You mistake repetition for truth. Quantum reality, however, responds not to these false identities, but to the vibration they generate. Every time you believe ego's story, you reinforce the frequency of limitation. Every time you dissolve one illusion, you raise the signal of your essence. Breaking the mirror does not mean waging war on ego. Fighting smoke only makes it swirl faster. Instead, it means seeing through the haze with clarity. Notice the story without fusing to it. Hear the voice without mistaking it for truth. Each time you pause before reacting, you take a hammer to the mirror. Each time you breathe into fear, instead of collapsing, another crack appears. Slowly, the reflection shatters and light floods in. This practice becomes crucial when reality feels terrifying. Ego screams the loudest at the edge of transformation. It points to fear and calls it evidence you should turn back. Yet fear at the threshold is the exact sign that the old mirror is breaking. Ego cannot survive in a reality where you no longer identify with its distortions. That is why it panics. That is why it invents convincing reasons to retreat. Look closely at the ways ego disguises itself. It may show up as hyperlogic, insisting every step forward is reckless. It may show up as perfectionism, delaying action until conditions look ideal. It may show up as comparison, convincing you that others are more deserving. These disguises are not truth. They are strategies to keep you staring into the mirror. Recognize them and their power dissolves. Here is the secret: the mirror cracks most easily when you lean into presence. Ego feeds on projection stories about the past, fears of the future. Presence starves it. When you drop into your breath, into the vibration of this exact moment, the illusion cannot hold. The smoke thins, the glass begins to fracture. Now imagine standing in front of that mirror, shards falling around you. At first the breaking feels violent. Pieces cut away at your certainty. Yet as the shards fall, you glimpse yourself without distortion. Not the labels, not the wounds, not the endless stories. You see essence, pure, coherent, luminous. The mirror was never showing you truth. It was showing you the echo of your fears. Without it, you finally recognize what has always been beneath the smoke. When the mirror shatters, fear does not vanish instantly. It transforms into raw energy you can channel. The trembling in your chest becomes fuel for creation. The quiver in your stomach becomes momentum for a leap. The contraction becomes proof that ego's illusion is dissolving. Instead of recoiling, you step forward. Instead of clinging to reflection, you inhabit reality directly. This is the turning point. Breaking ego's mirror reveals that fear is not your enemy. Fear is ego's last attempt to keep you in the old timeline. Once you see through it, the illusion loses grip. The rewrite begins. So, when you feel the urge to retreat, when ego insists, the fear means stop, pause. Remember the smoke, remember the mirror, remember that what feels like danger is often the sound of glass cracking, illusions falling away. Do not polish the mirror, do not fix it, let it break, let it scatter. Let yourself see beyond. Only then can you walk into a reality unshackled by distortion, free to vibrate as essence. Deep beneath your daily thoughts lives a reservoir of energy you rarely touch. The subconscious is not simply storage for memory, it is an active field humming with frequencies that shape how your reality unfolds. Every belief you've absorbed, every pattern repeated every unprocessed wound, each one transmits a vibration into the quantum field. While your conscious mind speaks of goals and desires, your subconscious often broadcasts the opposite. That hidden broadcast is why outcomes feel stubborn, why the same cycles return, why the rewrite feels so elusive. Think of your subconscious as an underground river. On the surface, you may declare you want abundance or love, yet below the current carries fear, scarcity, doubt. No matter how much effort you apply above ground, the hidden current directs the flow. This is not punishment, it is design. The quantum field responds to the frequency most consistently transmitted. Your subconscious humming night and day often wins that role. Quantum entanglement offers a profound metaphor here. Just as two particles remain connected across distance, your subconscious remains entangled with earlier versions of yourself. The child who felt unseen, the teenager who tasted rejection, the adult who feared failure, those fragments still pulse with energy. Until you meet them, their vibration continues echoing through your present. That echo pulls you into old timelines, even while you consciously strive for new ones. Fear is the signal that one of these echoes is stirring. When you stand at the edge of expansion and your chest tightens, it is not the future threatening you, it is the subconscious surfacing replaying an entanglement. Ego interprets this as danger. In truth, it is opportunity. You are being shown the precise vibration ready to be released. The subconscious does not surface at random, it reveals itself exactly when reality prepares to rewrite. So how do you work with this hidden energy instead of being ruled by its first awareness? Notice patterns that repeat no matter how hard you try to change them. The relationship that always ends the same way, the money that flows in and slips out again, the dreams that ignite briefly and fade. Each repetition points to a vibration living in the subconscious. Awareness cracks the seal. Next, integration. Meet the echo instead of suppressing it. When fear rises, ask whose voice is this? Which version of me still carries this vibration? Then breathe into it. Hold it in awareness as you would hold a frightened child. You are not fixing it, you are untangling. Entanglement dissolves through presence. The moment you accept the echo with compassion, the energy releases, the frequency shifts. Finally, calibration. Once the echo loosens, you must stabilize in a new vibration. Gratitude, presence, embodiment. These are tools of calibration. Every time you choose them, you reinforce the new broadcast. The subconscious rewires itself through repetition paired with emotion. Neuroplasticity proves this pathways strengthen when activated often. Gratitude practiced daily etches a new groove. Presence felt repeatedly engraves coherence. Over time, the subconscious hum changes. Here's a simple metaphor. Picture a violin that has gone out of tune. No matter what melody you attempt, it sounds harsh. The subconscious is that instrument. Fear is the discordant string. You do not smash the violin or deny the sound. You pause, adjust, retune. Soon the same melody vibrates clearly. Life flows in harmony again. Understand this, the subconscious is not your enemy. It is your archive of unprocessed frequencies. It continues transmitting because it longs to be integrated. When fear surfaces, it is the subconscious asking to be heard. If you run, the pattern deepens. If you listen, the entanglement dissolves. Imagine the power once this hidden energy is reclaimed. No longer leaking force into old wounds, you become coherent. The broadcast you send into the quantum field grows clear, consistent, magnetic. Doors open not through effort, but through resonance. Relationships shift, opportunities align, health improves, not by chance, but by calibration. So the next time fear rises from nowhere, do not curse it. Pause, breathe, recognize that a fragment of you is surfacing, ready to release its vibration. Invite it into awareness, let presence untangle the echo, retune your instrument. In that moment, you are not failing, you are reclaiming power. This is the entanglement of the subconscious, the unseen bond between who you were and who you are becoming. To break it, you do not fight. You integrate, you observe with compassion, you shift frequency. And as the subconscious rewrites, so does reality. Co-creation is not a lofty idea for mystics. It is the essence of how reality answers you. Every signal you emit, thought, emotion, action, forms the frequency you broadcast into the quantum field. A thought carries electricity, an emotion carries magnetism. When the two converge inside the body, fused with aligned behavior, coherence arises. That coherence is what the field mirrors. Without it, your signal scatters. With it, reality bends. Most people falter because their signals contradict each other. They think abundance yet feel scarcity. They speak of love while vibrating distrust. They take action from fear while hoping for expansion. The field reads the incoherence, reflecting whatever dominates. This is why intentions fail, affirmations fade, visions remain unrealized, the broadcast fractures. The work is not to think harder, but to embody coherence. Picture a prism catching light. When scattered rays shoot outward weak and unfocused. When aligned, the beam sharpens with enough power to cut through steel. Your energy behaves the same way. Align thought, emotion, action, and the field cannot help but respond. Begin with thought. Notice the stories you replay. Each narrative is a seed. Plant scarcity, scarcity grows. Plant possibility, possibility unfolds. Thoughts alone will not manifest, yet they set the signal's direction. Next comes emotion. Feeling charges thought with life. A thought without feeling is like a seed on dry ground, it never roots. Gratitude, trust, awe magnetize your thoughts, pulling them toward manifestation. Fear, resentment, doubt magnetize the opposite. Emotion is not enemy, but compass. Cultivate states that match the timeline you wish to inhabit, then action. Each choice either reinforces the old vibration or stabilizes the new one. You cannot vibrate freedom while acting from fear. You cannot claim abundance while shrinking at every opportunity. Action grounds the signal. The body declares coherence through behavior. Small steps matter more than dramatic leaps. Every consistent act carves the new timeline deeper. Imagine transmitting a radio signal into space. Thought sets the frequency. Emotion provides power. Action secures the tower. When all three align, your message travels far and returns amplified. When one is missing, transmission falters. Co-creation depends less on force, more on steadiness. Fear often rises here. When coherence strengthens, ego resists. The nervous system senses the dissolving of the old. Ego shouts its final warnings, yet if you hold thought, feeling, and action in alignment through the trembling, you pierce the barrier. Fear becomes proof that the signal is strong enough to collapse into form. Look at your patterns. Where are you coherent? Where scattered? Perhaps your mind envisions health while your choices drain energy. Perhaps you affirm love while your emotions vibrate distrust. These contradictions are not failure, but feedback. They highlight where calibration is needed. Coherence grows through small, repeated practices. Speak a thought of trust, then breathe until your body feels it. Once the emotion surfaces, act from that state, even with a subtle choice. Over time, these alignments accumulate into a powerful broadcast. Reality requires no drama, only clarity. Ancient traditions describe this union as sacred marriage, the meeting of mind, heart, body. Modern science echoes the same. The heart generates the body's strongest electromagnetic field. When brain and heart sync, coherence amplifies. Add action, the signal becomes undeniable. The field reorganizes itself around your broadcast. So when you tremble at the threshold, remember alignment anchors you. Thought sets direction. Emotion fuels momentum. Action grounds vibration. Together they form the signature of co-creation. The field does not resist, it waits for clarity. Embodiment of co-creation is not perfection. It is the willingness to return again and again to alignment. Each moment you realign, you strengthen the signal. Each time you embody the new frequency, another possibility collapses into form. In this way, you do not chase reality, you author it. To live as the rewrite is to stop waiting for change and become the change itself. Every moment offers a choice: step back into old frequencies or stabilize the new vibration. The transition is not a single event, it is a practice. Reality rewrites itself through repeated coherence until what once felt extraordinary becomes ordinary, a natural extension of who you are. This is where daily life transforms into initiation. Each breath, each thought, each action can either reinforce ego's illusion or embody essence. You no longer chase proof outside, you carry the evidence within. Fear may still arise, yet it no longer dictates direction. Instead of recoiling, you recognize it as the echo of timelines dissolving, a sign you are crossing into new ground. Think of a dancer learning a new rhythm. At first, every step feels awkward. The body resists, the old beat intrudes, yet with practice, the new rhythm takes hold. Soon, movement flows without effort. Reality functions the same way. At first, alignment feels unnatural. Scarcity tries to pull you back, fear interrupts. Yet each return to coherence trains your system. Eventually, the new vibration becomes your baseline. Practical devotion anchors the shift. Begin your mornings with gratitude. This charges your signal. Throughout the day, pause for presence. This retunes the instrument. Before rest, choose reflection. This integrates the new pattern. Simple practices repeated build coherence. You are no longer practicing manifestation, you are living it. Now imagine reality as a vast web, each node vibrating in response to your frequency. When you align consistently, the web around you shifts. Synchronicities appear, people enter at the perfect moment, opportunities emerge without strain. It feels mysterious, yet it is only resonance. The field reorganizes itself to match what you are being. So I want to leave you with a simple practice. Each day ask, what vibration am I broadcasting? Then choose one word to anchor that state. Peace, courage, abundance, love. Let that word guide your breath, your posture, your choices. This is not performance, it is calibration. Over time, that single word becomes a seed collapsing into lived reality. Now I invite you to take part in something greater. In the comments, share the one word you choose today, not as ritual, but as declaration. Let your word be a node of resonance in this field we share. As you scroll, notice others planting seeds of their own. Together we strengthen the frequency of collective awakening. If this journey stirred something inside you, if you felt recognition, release, or the spark of new possibility, I invite you to subscribe. This space is not content, it is a gathering point for those ready to embody their essence and co-create reality consciously. By joining, you are not following, you are participating in a movement, one heartbeat in a larger coherence. You are not waiting for reality to prove itself. You are proving reality by the way you live. Fear no longer signals retreat, it signals rewrite. You are not a seeker. You are the alchemist, the observer, the frequency that collapses possibility into form. So let this linger, every moment is a threshold. Fear is not the wall, it is the bell announcing transformation. When you feel it, breathe, step forward, and remember the universe does not rewrite you. You rewrite the universe by becoming the vibration you choose.